I'm Professor MJ, and it's time to get 4 MLB picks for June 25th. We bounced back with much better predictions yesterday as we came close from posting a perfect 4-0 record, but unfortunately, the Red Sox lost in extra innings in Los Angeles. But still, in the end, we picked up a 3-1 record yesterday with our picks. So a person risking $100 per play obtained a profit of $115. Now I've got 4 more picks for you today, and it all starts with the Arizona-Chicago White Sox game. And in this game, I'm going to take advantage of a betting system called the stingy pitchers, whose rules are as follows. Sorry. So bet against the road team if they won their past 2 games by allowing either 0 or 1 run in each of those wins, and if their money line today is smaller than plus 150. So that means the road team's money line must either indicate they are a favorite or a small or moderate underdog. Now let's focus on Arizona for a minute. They are on the road today. They won their last 2 games by allowing 0 and 1 run, respectively, and their money line today is much smaller than plus 150. In fact, they are favorites. So by following the rules, we must back the Chicago White Sox, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm taking the Chicago money line at plus 125 odds, or 2.25 in decimal format. Now, let me say a few more words about this betting strategy. In 2024, it produced a 25-25 record for a gain of 1.11 units because we mostly picked underdogs. So far this year, we have accumulated 18 wins versus 15 losses for a profit of 2.04 units. And this betting angle also produced slight gains in 2022 and 2023, so we are on our way to rack up 4 straight years with a profit with this betting strategy called the stingy pitchers. Now, both starters, Zach Gallen and Burke, have struggled with consistency and control. Well, Gallen is undergoing his worst MLB season by far. His current ERA is 5.60, while his worst ERA in his prior 6 years was 4.30. So this year's ERA is more than 1 full point above his worst prior season. One of his biggest problems has been walking too many batters. Meanwhile, Burke showed a lot of promise last year, but he has not delivered as expected so far. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel regarding today's play, and let me show you why. At home this year, his ERA has been 3.43 versus 5.82 on the road, so that's a big difference. And we also observe a big discrepancy between day and night games. In day games like today, his ERA has been 3.35 versus over 6 in 9 games. So that's a big difference once again. The Diamondbacks have been an inconsistent club, so to me they are susceptible to being the victim of upsets on occasions, and I feel like this is a good spot for that to happen. So I've decided to bet the White Sox. I'm going to take a small stab at it because it is rated 2 stars out of 5. Again, all picks presented here on my YouTube channel are bets that I believe are worth betting, and then I grade those picks that are all worth betting. So even a play rated 1 star, it means that to me it holds a small positive expected value. So in this case, I feel like maybe we have a plus 2% ROI on this play. All right, up next, and now this is graded 4 stars out of 5. I came close from rating it 5 stars, but I'll tell you why it did not quite make the cut among my premium picks. I'm taking the under in the Washington-San Diego game. So more precisely, I expect under 7.5 runs to be scored in this match. So obviously, I'm expecting a low-scoring affair for several reasons. MacKenzie Gore will be handed the ball for Washington, and he has shown vast improvement in his fourth season. So after posting a whip stat hovering around 1.45 in each of his first 3 years in the big leagues, his whip stat this year is 1.19, which is a big improvement. And he's been even better lately. Sure, he got roughed up at the Dodgers 5 days ago, but who does not get roughed up in Los Angeles against a potent offense? If you focus on Gore's prior 5 outings, he gave up a total of 5 earned runs in 31 innings of work. So if you do the calculations, that amounts to a superb 1.45 ERA. Also, he's facing his old team, so that's extra motivation for MacKenzie Gore. And the Padres have been shaky against lefties, so I'll take advantage of that. Meanwhile, Nick Pivetta is a tough customer with a whip stat below 1.15 in each of his last 3 years. And he's been unbeaten at home this year via a perfect 5-0 record along with a rock-solid 2.93 ERA. However, and this is why this is not a 5-star play, Pivetta seems to hate facing the Nationals. You won't believe the following numbers. In 13 career appearances against Washington, he owns a dreadful 1-7 record along with a super bad 9.42 ERA. What the heck? So, but still, I believe we will get a low-scoring affair, so I'm betting the under, but it's not a premium pick, but it was close from being one. So those are my first 2 plays. Now up next, my third pick is the Athletics. And in fact, I'm going to take them with the run line. Let me show you the official play. The Athletics plus 1.5. So for this wager to win, we either need the Athletics to win straight up or to lose by a 1-run margin in Detroit. Now, yesterday, the Tigers cruised to an 11-5 win as they continue to cement their lead atop the AL Central Division. In fact, they hold a massive 9.5 game lead over the Cleveland Guardians. But I think the Ace will keep this one close, and not facing Tariq Skubal today will be of great help, of course. Now, this pick fits under a betting system called the Hot Bats number 1. However, I must warn you that this has been a very inconsistent system. Okay, so across a long period of time, it has shown a positive profit, but we've had big ups and downs. For example, in 2019, we racked up around 37 units of profit, but 2 years later, we lost close to 34 units. Now, in more recent years, well, last season in 2024, we obtained a profit of 8.27 units via 148 bets. Now, what about the current season, 2025? We have accumulated 33 wins and 38 losses. But despite the negative record, we have still owned a positive profit of 1.74 units because we mostly pick underdogs by following its rules. Well, speaking of the rules, let's review them together. Sorry. So, bet against the home team if they either won their last 2 matches by scoring 6+ runs in each of those wins, or if they won their last 4 contests by putting at least 5 runs on the board in each case. All right, so in the current situation, the Tigers are at home. And they won their last 2 games by scoring 11 and 9 runs respectively. So by following the rules, we must fade the Tigers, and that's why I am opting for the Athletics. Now I'm taking the run line. This is just a personal preference. If you are more of a risk taker and you want to go with the money line, you have the green light to do so. I'm just being more conservative by taking the run line in this case. Now, Jack Flaherty has not been in top form lately, so I'm going to take advantage of that. he gave up 7 runs against the Reds, and then in his last outing, he squandered 8 runs in Tampa Bay. And also in 3 career starts against the A's, his record is 1-2, along with a bad 7.03 ERA. And meanwhile, Jacob Lopez has been flying under the radar. In his past 3 appearances on the mound, he has surrendered just 1 earned run in 16 innings of work, while also striking out 9 batters in each of his last 2 outings, which is super impressive. So for these reasons, I expect a tight game, so I'm going to side with the Athletics and the corresponding run line. Finally, we have another team that fits under the hot bat system number 1. Yes, the Cards are at home today, and they have beaten the Cubs in twice, and in each case they scored 8 runs. So by following the rules, we must fade the Cardinals, and that's why my 4th selection of the day is the Cubs moneyline, as they are small favorites entering today's contest, and this is rated 3 stars out of 5, just like the Athletics, by the way. All right, so to me, Chicago will be extra motivated for payback after losing 2 straight games to the Cardinals and by allowing many runs in the process. This is a much-needed win for Chicago, as their top spot is being challenged seriously. Both the Brewers and the Cards are breathing down their necks, so they must wake up very quickly. So Matthew Boyd will be handed the ball for the Cubs, and his career ERA is 4.67, but he is truly enjoying a revival in Chicago. His ERA this year has been 2.84. That's a huge difference. His counterpart is Eric Fede, and he's also another guy who is probably happy that he left his former team. In his first 6 years in Washington, his ERA was always above 4.25, so he really struggled to make an impact. And since moving from Washington, his ERA was 3.30 last year and 3.54 this season, so he's been doing much better. However, this year he owns an ordinary whip stat of 1.30, which is close to the league average, and he's been worse at home than away from home. Also, against the Cubs in his career, his ERA is 6.33, which is really bad, whereas Matthew Boyd seems to enjoy facing the Cardinals because his career ERA against St. Louis is 2.12 in 4 appearances. So there you go with my 4 picks for today. So I'm taking the White Sox money line. I expect them to beat Arizona. I'm taking the under to hit in the Washington-San Diego game, and this is my favorite play among the 4 that are listed here. I'm also opting for the Athletics with the plus 1.5 run line, and finally, I expect the Cubs to win outright in St. Louis after getting beaten up on 2 straight occasions. So again, a huge thank you for watching my daily videos. I appreciate you very much. I invite you to comment, like, or subscribe. So by interacting with my video, you are letting YouTube know that you appreciated the content, and they will continue to suggest my videos to more savvy sports investors like you. So thank you so much for watching. I'm so grateful that you have watched this video. I'll see you again soon.